welcome to Calypso's Island. For those of you that are not watching this from my reading poetry class, Calypso is a Greek goddess-like creature. I'm calling her a goddess because I'm pretty sure she's a goddess, just not as high status as Athena. This is a depiction of Calypso's Island as seen through images translated by Emily Wilson, but more modernized and with a creative spin through my own creative style in Sims. This is on Sulani, the island world in Sims, in case anyone was wondering that actually plays Sims and cares about it. I will probably have it like on my gallery at some point, but that's only if someone's playing Sims and really wants to play as Odysseus, Odyssey, and Calypso Kidnapper, both affectionately termed for who they are in the novel. Epic, it's epic. Calypso is called Calypso Kidnapper because she traps Odysseus on her island for a very long extended period of time. Odysseus is called Odysseus Odyssey because I really liked the sound of that name. Calypso is a mermaid. You can see her swimming in the water down below. She's trapped on an island. I figured for Sims purposes, why not make her a mermaid? She can have some fun that isn't involving Odysseus. Over here, just like getting into the tour because we're already looking at Calypso right now, you can see there is a waterfall. Her island is described to have just this immortal beauty to it, and to me that would mean a lot of like waterfalls and more natural structures. This waterfall is extremely man-made. You can tell from the looks that it's man-made, and that's mostly because it's in Sims. I couldn't manipulate terrain as you normally can on a traditional lot, and I really wanted to have this be an ocean view lot because it is an island. So I put these little aquariums at the bottom of the waterfall because that way it's like the water's going into the aquariums and giving life to whatever's in the aquarium. And like the water actually does flow, and it looks really pretty when it's all together. It looks even prettier at night because there's fireflies that come out. But the night gets really dark and it's hard to give the tour. Oh, it is 5 a.m. in the game. I can have it playing. We can see little pop-up notifications about the Sims and what they're up to. I've already seen one today about Odysseus going to college. It's really fun. It's silly. But that aside, there's this little coral reef loose term structure. It's just a lot of sea structures by the waterfall. I didn't make a coral reef because there is one, or there's structures that look like a coral reef right over here, which is not too far from the actual lot itself. Over here you can see there's a shipwreck. This is, to me, I put that in place because it was really symbolic of how Odysseus' ship was destroyed before he went to Calypso's island, or was trapped on Calypso's island more accurately, but it was also destroyed leaving Calypso's island and that bridge between immortality and mortality that was heavily discussed in class at some point. But over here, I would also like to highlight the fact that this is where he would be building his raft. He builds it on the shore. This is where he cries all the time. I really wish I could make him cry right now, but he's unfortunately not terrified and cannot cry it out. It's a haunted house, specifically so he is terrified more often and then can cry it out more like he does in the book. I put a little bonfire over here because if he's working on a raft on his own, he's obviously going to probably not get cold but need to cook something. Assuming Calypso's not cooking food for him because she's mad at him for some reason. So there's some fish here that theoretically he could use, to cook food. There's also, I think, I believe they're twigs. There's also seaweed that looks very similar to it, but I believe those are twigs, just for fuel for the bonfire. There's also these spear type things. I'm not really sure what they are, but they seemed very Odysseus core. There are some wildlife animals on this island as well. You can see there's some rabbits and chickens roaming loose. There are some golden hens and I think a rooster. Excuse me. There's golden hens and roosters because, again, this is Calypso's island. Immortal beauty, other unworldly beings and nature. So I had to kind of like symbolize that in what I was building. This is a giant coconut tree. I keep making Odysseus water it so it doesn't die because I think it'd be really funny if a coconut fell on his head. I don't know if that happens in Sims, but I think it'd be really funny. That has nothing to do with this. I just think it'd be kind of funny and silly. I added a lot of forest niche areas in the sense that they're just heavily, densely populated with plants and other natural wildlife things, because Calypso's house, specifically cave, was said to be surrounded by a luscious forest, and the trees specifically in her forest I couldn't do besides the cypress because of the fact that this is on an island, and the other ones like Alden and Poplar just wouldn't have looked right on here whatsoever. I did add some gardening things, which you see Calypso working on right now in her bathing suit because she was just a mermaid. And there are some automatic sprinklers, which I thought would be very helpful for her, so she can swim in the water and be free. This is the chicken coop. There's some cow plants because she needs something ominous going up to her house. She apparently cannot water them because they don't need water. So you can't see the cow plant in full bloom. Leading up to her house, there are some succulent plants because this is a beachy area. I figured, why not add some cacti? But I also think it goes really nicely with the cypress on the side as like the plants are progressively getting higher. And then over here is where the specific forested area around her house is, but it's just a lot of palm trees and other tropical native plants. Upstairs, we have Calypso's room. It's just an open loft area because she said in a lot of depictions of the houses, it's mentioned that you can there's a lot of overhang areas mentioned, even if it's in passing. So I figured, considering this is a goddess's house, I'd give her that kind of style. It also, I think, flowed really nicely because she's heard singing when Hermes comes. And so, like, you can see on the balcony out here, there's a microphone and a piano. I'm not sure if they had pianos in her time, but if it's a more modern adaptation of Calypso's Island and house, I think a piano is appropriate. And it's a very mystical, whimsical kind of piano because, again, she is a goddess. Like, she deserves some kind of nice things, even if she's not a nice person. And there's a lot of just plants and greenery on her island because, to me, Calypso would be a goddess of a lot of plants and natural abundance and beauty because that's how her island is described throughout the entirety of the novel, epic. I keep calling it a novel. I apologize. And then there's a lot of tapestries and weavings scattered all throughout the house. You can see it especially in Calypso's room because it's been a staple in the entirety of the epic that people, especially the women, are weaving different tapestries, working on looms. I couldn't find looms specifically in the way they're used in the Odyssey. However, I did find, Odysseus, what are you wearing? I did find there's different knitting baskets that I gave Calypso in her house. There's also a cross-stitch box. I don't think cross-stitch is something she would necessarily do, but it plays to the entire weaving kind of pastime. There's also a flower arranging table and a fireplace right in the middle and like open because there is said to be a fireplace with a beautiful large fire. This one's not on because the house will burn down, especially because there's like the wood slats behind it. The wood kind of thing behind it. I trust you see what I'm referring to. If not, it's the thing that looks like wood. This is the kitchen. Odysseus keeps turning the lights off, and it's kind of annoying because I don't want the lights to be off. And it's like, it's 10 in the morning, so I don't see why he keeps turning them off, but that's okay. I'll cut him some slack. This is the kitchen, very nice, big and open. I'd like to draw some attention to the olive jar. It is representative of the role Athena plays in getting Odysseus off of this island and the role she plays all throughout for Odysseus in the epic. Oh great, Odysseus had a nightmare. Yeah, as he should. It's about a clown painting. Makes sense. Odysseus seems the type to be scared of a clown. But that's neither here nor there, and I digress from that. I added some potions as well to Calypso's kitchen and a lot of wine. Because in my mind, Calypso is very manipulative, conniving, and just all around not the best person. So she's going to have as much as she can to do whatever she wishes to those around her. And then there's also some cryptic messages in a bottle up on this top shelf. Sims, thank you for not working properly. I appreciate it very much. There's some cryptic messages up here. This is just the bathroom. There's nothing special about it. I made it really modern. I made it ginormous because throughout every scene of a house, there are slaves washing people because they can't wash themselves for whatever reason. So I made it a giant bathroom because if Calypso had slaves, I'm not sure if she did, but if she does, they would help in the bathroom and tend to those needs. And then again, there's a bunch of weavings and tapestries. If you notice upstairs, outside of Calypso's room, there was also an archway. I figured her house would be very open, so I wouldn't put doors anywhere but the bathroom, because the bathroom doesn't need privacy, or they literally won't go to the bathroom. And then out here, there's this beautiful little archway. I really wish it could have been a door, because it would have been perfect. But to make up for that, I did put these cute little plants by the door. These are island native plants that are specifically for the island living pack in Sims, or Sulani, where this is built. There's also a lot of planting spaces for Calypso to do her planting. Who are you? Okay, a random person just appeared. That's okay. Pretend he... We just managed to see he's paranoid, and I think that's a great place to stop this lovely little tour.